Hi everyone, the small engine mechanic here. Today we are going to be talking about carburetor cleaners. Not the dipping type, but the spray type. I have a lot of customers that will tell me they tried to clean their carburetors with the spray type. And today, I will show you why it never works as intended. On most carburetors you have the basics. The body of the carb. A choke plate with a choke bleed hole. Float bowl. Bowl vent. Pilot valve. Idle screw. And the throttle plate. Let's look at each item to get a better idea of how they work. This is the bowl. It holds the fuel in a small reservoir for use. The float and needle maintain a level of fuel in the bowl. As fuel is used, the float will drop and allow the needle valve to open and fuel will fill the bowl back up. Without these, the engine would flood with gas. I'm removing the idle screw to get to the pilot jet. This pilot jet has a spacer on it. And the jet will just pop right out. The pilot jet handles the mixture from idle to 15 to 20% throttle. Air comes in through the front of the carburetor and passes through the pilot, causing a Venturi effect. Will cause the fuel to be drawn up through the pilot circuit. I'm not sure if the camera will be able to see the ports where the fuel comes out of. They are very tiny. The bowl vent allows atmospheric pressure to enter the bowl and helps to prevent a vacuum in the bowl. The carburetor body is where everything mounts and is installed on. As air passes through the throat of the carburetor, a Venturi effect is caused, which brings the fuel from the bowl through the main jet. The main jet is simply a metering device to prevent the engine from pulling in too much fuel. This is the emulsion tube. They normally have very tiny holes on the sides. The emulsion tube lets air mix with the passing fuel, to assist with the atomization of the fuel into very fine droplets. The throttle plate and lever is connected to the governor and controls the amount of air passing through the carburetor to the engine, thus controlling the engine's RPM. Choke plate with bleed hole allows the engine to draw more fuel from the carburetor, and the bleed hole allows some air to mix with the fuel to assist with starting. Now that we covered the parts and what they do, You can now have a better understanding when I say that spray carburetor cleaners never work as expected. Here is an example of how people try to use the cleaner. All it does is passes straight through the throat of the carb. Bypass all of the important parts that control and allows the carb to work. When used correctly, these sprays can be very effective in cleaning a carb. I will show you what I mean about correctly. You can spray the pilot circuit. The fuel supply side. The bowl vent circuit. You can reinstall the pilot jet. And hopefully you'll see the cleaner come out the ports. You can also spray through the pilot jet itself. You'll see the small hole that goes through the side of the jet. We're going to spray into the tip and we should see the cleaner come out those holes slowly. There we go. You can also spray through the emulsion tube. So, that's a better way to clean a carburetor. Here is a look at how the float works. Float goes down, bowl will fill. Float goes up, bowl stops filling. So I hope you at least learned something new about carburetors and the spray cleaners. So, I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section below. So, until next time.
It looks like another one is good to go.